Hi, good afternoon. I'm Bucks County District Attorney Matt Weintraub. Today we're calling this press conference because we are seeking the public's help. We need any information that any of you out there have related to the whereabouts and the safety of Elizabeth Beth Capaldi. She has been entered into the national database, NCIC, as a missing person. Ms. Capaldi is 55 years old. She's 5 feet 6 inches tall, has brown-gray hair, hazel eyes. She was last seen at her Sellersville residence in the early morning hours on October the 10th of 2022. That's over 2 weeks ago, near the intersection of High and East Church Streets in Sellersville, where she resides with her husband, Stephen Capaldi. She was reported missing 2 days after that, on October the 12th, by her daughter, after her family uncharacteristically had not heard from her for those 2 days, from the 10th to the 12th. It was determined that few of her personal belongings, including her wallet, was missing from the Sellersville home. However, most of her other belongings, including her cell phone, her keys to the house and to the car itself, were left behind. This is highly unusual behavior, obviously. Ms. Capaldi has not ever been known to travel outside of the area by herself. She mainly stayed in or around her house in Sellersville unless she was running errands or was with other family members. And this is why we are so concerned. We are now seeking your help with any information that you may have related to the whereabouts of Beth Capaldi. We'd like to know any scrap of information that you have, no matter how great or insignificant it is. Let us determine the value of that information, which sometimes can lead to other information. If anyone has seen her or observed anything out of the ordinary, please report it to Bucks County detectives at 215-348-6354 or to the Perkasie Borough Police Department, who are both arrayed with me here, at 215-257-6876. Or, as you know, you can submit an anonymous tip to buckscrimetips@buckscounty.org or via our Crime Watch site at bucksda.org. We continue to hold out hope that we can find Beth Capaldi and reunite her with her family. But we are not ruling anything out at this time. But please help us if you can. We really could use it. Thank you. Anybody have any questions?
Who was the last person to see her? This is Madeline Wright, CBS 3.
Hang on one second, please. As far as we know, it was her husband.
Anything else you can tell us about her? Does she work? Does she volunteer anywhere?
They're great questions. Let me see if I have that information.
She doesn't currently have a job, no. She was working from home, but not recently.
Okay. Last we knew, she was working from home, but not at the time that she went missing. And I know that that's pretty sketchy, but that's all the current information that we have.
So she lives with her husband, but he didn't report her missing. It was only 2 days later that her family reported her missing?
That is the case.
So is anything suspicious with that, or are any foul play suspected?
As I'm sure you can imagine, I have to be circumspect with what type of information I put out there. I don't want to lead or mislead anybody here. We don't want anybody jumping to any conclusions. The investigation of course, remains open and very hot. This was something that we do as a last resort. We do have some leads that we're working on. We're still hopeful that we can find Ms. Capaldi alive, but we're prepared for any eventuality. But we're not going to abandon hope until there's no room left.
So you're not suspecting foul play, or is it too early to suspect at the moment?
Yeah, I would not want to speculate on that at this time, but we're leaving every option open at this time.
Is her daughter who reported her missing local to this area?
Yes.
Any other children, grandchildren?
Not that I know of. No other children, I should say.
Anything else special in her routine? Would she normally have walked a dog or gone to a coffee shop, anything like that?
Those are good questions, but I don't know the answers to those, Deanna. At this point, what we're hoping is by broadcasting the location, the name, and her picture, and something of her pedigree, somebody out there definitely knows something that's going to be able to help us out. And this is what we're asking. We need your help now.
Is everybody that you're talking to cooperating so far, that you're looking to cooperating so far?
We are receiving information from everybody that we've asked to this point.
Anybody not giving you information?
Hang on one second.
So the husband's been cooperating and talking with you?
Everyone that we've spoken to has been forthcoming with some information.
You mentioned that this plea is the last resort. What have been the challenges of the investigation over the last several weeks?
It's just been my experience that people don't go missing unless they intend to go missing. There was a horrific accident or there was some terrible foul play. None of those three options are great, but even if Ms. Capaldi is intentionally missing by her own design, we would want to know it because a lot of people are worried about her. But we certainly would also want to know if any of those two other far worse options were the case.
You mentioned specifically the intersection near where her home is. Is that because she was last seen outside the home, or you just want people to, if they were driving by, if they saw anything?
That's just to give people a frame of reference. We didn't want to give out the exact address.
So then she was last seen basically inside the home, according to her husband?
I believe so. Anybody else?
Do you know how the daughter's doing now?
Very distraught. She's holding out hope that we're going to find her mother. And that's our intention here. You had mentioned, is this what we do as a last resort? I don't want to mislead people. This is not the last resort, but this is a pretty substantial step that we're taking here by asking all of you to help us broadcast this to anybody that's watching in the millions. So we don't do this lightly. This is something that involves a lot of commitment, a lot of resources. Any tips that we're going to get, we will run down. That will take a ton of manpower, but we are committed to one goal, and that is to find Ms. Capaldi and hopefully ascertain that she is safe.
Sorry to beat a dead horse, but specifically, have you talked to the husband? You say that everyone was cooperating that you talked to. Have you talked to the husband?
I personally have not, but investigators have spoken with them.
And I apologize if you already said this, but where was she found? She didn't leave the car, she didn't have her car, she didn't drive wherever she was found, outside the house.
Well, she's not been found.
Well, not found, the last scene, I should say.
Correct.
Okay,
She vanished without taking her car keys, her cell phone, her car, which is pretty extraordinary.
Thank you.
People just don't vanish off the face of the earth, in my experience.
Are you able to say what, like from what your detectives have ascertained, what was she doing in the moments that she was last seen?
I don't know the answer, to be fair to you, but I wouldn't reveal that even if I did have that information. Some of this information we want to keep as proprietary. If I thought that it would help allow people to give us information back, I would share it, but I don't think that would be helpful. All right, thank you all. I really appreciate all your help. Let's find Ms. Capaldi. Let's get her back safe if we can. Thank you.